I think for me, it hurts a lot just to sit on the couch when my mind says, hey, I want to go train. But, I was diagnosed in 2006 and it's 2019 and I haven't quit yet. I'm still going. So if I can do it, I think anybody else can do it as well. I am Clint Darden and I'm an elite FDS coach. Well, I'm originally from Murray, Kentucky, US of the A, a real small town in the middle of nowhere that most of the times people haven't heard of unless they know our basketball program that's successful every once in a while. I guess at age, 24, somewhere around there, I met a beautiful young lady, lived on the island of Cyprus in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Kind of followed her out that direction. Getting involved in strongman, I remember around the year 2000, I decided that I wanted to weigh 300 pounds, no matter what. And I remember on December 26th, getting on the scale and weighing 306. I will never forget that. And I was so out of shape that I was out of breath walking from the couch to the bathroom, anywhere in the house. And I remember my mom saying, look, this is too far. This is dangerous. And I said, don't worry, when I break 300, I'm gonna get in shape, whatever it takes. And a good friend of mine had the book called Dinosaur Training. And this guy talked a lot about picking up sandbags, thick-handled farmer's walk, grip work, flipping tires. And I thought it sounded a lot like manual labor, which was not for me. I didn't want to pay gym dues to do manual labor. But I think when I decided I wanted to lose weight and get into shape, that was probably the only thing I could do that sounded like cool physical activity. So I remember weighing 306, and the next day I made a pair of farmer's walk implements out of easy curl bar handles and went outside and did that. It almost killed me. I got a tire to flip, and I went out every day and flipped the tire. And it would took me more than a full minute to get one flip with the tire. And I look back years later and I would flip it with one hand. I wanted to transfer what I was doing in the gym into something. Maybe that was just a point in my life where I wanted to do something. I was training at home, my garage gym. I was going to school full time. I was working full time. I didn't have the time or the money to pay for a gym. So I put together a small garage gym out of equipment that I bought from UBID. It goes back that far. But there was a small strongman contest being advertised in McKinsey, Tennessee, and it was a 45-minute drive away. I signed up. I had had no experience doing any of the events. I went and I took last in every event they did, took last out of every one, but still managed to qualify for nationals. And went to nationals, took second, and then from then on, I just kept making huge leaps and bounds of progress. And next thing I knew it, I was a pro in the States, moved overseas to be with my wife, and I had friends that were putting me in touch with other athletes in Hungary, Poland, Germany. And so, as an American, it was really cool just to get invited to go to these other countries and compete. And then you make friends in other countries that become friends and families. And it's a vicious cycle that just goes on and on for a couple of decades. I do have ulcerative colitis, and I was diagnosed in 2006. And I ended up taking from 2006 to 2009 off. I wasn't physically able to really train. Went through a lot of different medications. Some of them had really, really bad side effects, especially when it comes to training and performance. With any sport, or with anything in life, recovery is key. So you always want to be able to do as much as you possibly can recover from. You work a 16-hour day, and then you have to spend the next 8 hours sleeping to get your body to recover to work the next 16-hour day. So with ulcerative colitis, my body doesn't absorb a lot of nutrients and nutrition that I eat. So I think that really changed a lot of things. I've worked really hard to adjust the food, pull back my training when I need to, push whenever I can. I want to train probably more than anything else that I can imagine, and I will find a way to adapt as long as I possibly can. As long as I can adapt faster than I have to quit, that's what I'm gonna do. There is no cure. No one has ever been cured. Every time someone contacts, and I've had other teammates here at elitefts contact me and say, hey, I was diagnosed with the same thing, but my doctor's gonna put me on this medicine. He believes I'm gonna be fine. And I'm really hesitant to say, yeah, you're gonna be fine. I can think of one teammate in particular that I told him the honest truth of what was in front of him, and he said, no, I'll be fine. The doctor said I'm gonna be fine. And then he's still running the same cycle that I am with training. You know, the truth is nothing's gonna be great. You're probably never gonna be without pain. You're probably never gonna want to be very far from a bathroom. Nausea is gonna always be with you. But I think if you want to do something, you can find a way to do it. The one thing that I've changed over the years is that if I want to take a day off, I take a day off. And you know, I gave a speech 4 years ago that was never meant for video about going all in or quitting. And I think that speech was taken totally the wrong way by everyone who listened to it. Most people took it as that you have to go all in and do something. You have to give up everything and go for it. And you know, the whole point is if your heart's not into it, don't be afraid to quit. You know, if it hurts too bad, quit. Maybe just for today, you know, but if you're not in love with your sport or what you're doing, don't be afraid to walk away. There's no shame in just saying, this isn't for me, I'm gonna walk away. But over the last couple of years, I have no shame in waking up and saying, you know what, today's not my day to train. I am resting today, and I'll walk over and I'll sit on the couch and sleep and instead of going to the gym. But you know, the flip side of that, I have no problem in taking cortisone injections so I can move my fingers so I can go out and train. It's probably not the smartest thing to do, but I think for me, it hurts a lot just to sit on the couch when my mind says, hey, I want to go train. But you know, I was diagnosed in 2006 and it's 2019 and I haven't quit yet. I'm still going. So if I can do it, I think anybody else can do it as well. I don't know how many times we've all been in that situation where we just think to ourselves, nobody understands, you know, and I think, you know, that's where people just get really sad and give up. So I think anytime that you can find someone else that you can relate to and you say, you know what, I understand where he's going. That's music. I mean, that's every song that you listen to, that you hear that one song that just pulls something out of you, you're like, you know what, I get that. And whether it's a happy song or a sad song or rock song, whatever it is, you know, I think having some kind of connection to whatever you're seeing or hearing or reading, I think it helps. You know, I have a lot of clients that I work with online and they know not to give me excuses because I don't get much sleep. My joints do hurt, my stomach does hurt. And you know, I'm still gonna give it everything I have, everything that I can give. That's what I'm gonna do. So I love my kids, I love my wife, I love my job, and I think that's part of life. I mean, that's part of what I go through. And you know, the older that I get, the more I start to think that I know nothing when it comes to coaching and training. And I think over the last several years, the last couple of years that I've been competing more and more, I've went out and learned more and more. And I've studied as much as I possibly can. And it makes me kind of think, you know, I've got so much to learn that I'm not for sure what I can really share training wise. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of the way I feel. When I'm here and I'm with my son and he screams a lot, he yells, he runs, and he's a kid that almost always has an iPad in front of him and headphones. And I've gotten a few looks from people like, oh, there's just another parent who's stuck a screen in front of their child's face just to keep them occupied. And, you know, really if someone says something, I just say, here, this is Luke, he has autism. And they're like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, they may not actually get it, but they seem to have an understanding of, we'll give him some latitude. We'll give him a break, you know. Whereas in Cyprus, if I mention my child is autistic, what's that? I've never heard of it before. So that makes it difficult because I have to try to explain it in Greek as well, which is always a fun experience. But I think at least here people have an understanding of what autism, it may be it may be an incorrect understanding of what it is, but at least here they know that they should give the child a little bit of credit. You know, he is trying really, really hard. But the advice that I would give to the parents, don't quit. Don't take anything personal. My son yells and screams nonstop. That's just the way he is. And as a parent, when your child, you know, just screams, the first thing you want to do is turn around and yell back even louder, be quiet, stop that. And then I look over at my son and he screamed, but he wasn't angry. He's really just talking. He's just making a noise. That's all it is making a noise. So I've learned not to get offended by anything that he does. Don't take it personal. And if another person on the street says something about my child, don't take it personal. Don't get offended. It's only important if I let it be important. So if they have an opinion about my son, that's okay. It's their opinion. You know, if there's someone who's important to me, then their opinion probably matters. And if their opinion probably matters, they probably know me, they've probably met my son, and they see that he's a good kid, and they're not going to be judgmental. So if they don't matter, I don't really care. I think if I have to tell someone, you know, what I want them to remember is just, you know, be kind to people, be nice to people, understand people, love people, don't judge them for anything. You have no idea what everybody else has gone through that day, that month, that year. You know, if you're going to point a finger, stick all of them out and shake their hand. You know, help someone before you push them. You know, if they're worth pushing down, then push them down later, but give somebody a helping hand first. I'm hoping that my kids are the legacy that I leave behind, because they're great kids. And I've always said that I want to change the world. And I hope that my kids grow up wanting to change the world too. I hope they learned that from their dad.
All right, guys, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, select notifications, but also keep in mind, we do have a website. It's elitefts.com. On our website, we put up 2 new articles every single day, 7 days a week. We also have training logs that are updated daily, coaching blogs, which are updated daily, archive